the healers or the repairing cells. And you know, when you're a kid, you fall off your bike or you fall out of a tree or you sprain your ankle or you cut yourself, you break a bone, you heal so fast, right? Kids have tons of energy, they never stop, and they sleep like a rock, right? They're just out. They can fall on the floor and they're done. Nothing phases them. That's because they have all these beautiful stem cells in their body doing amazing things. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, as we age, we make less stem cells. So by the time we're in our 30s, we're making half of what we did as a child, which is why you start to see the crow's feet. You have less quality of sleep. You start to feel those aches and pains. You know, your memory goes a little bit less concentration, maybe. Just not as much energy in your 30s, okay? A few more aches and pains. Well, by the time you're in your 60s, I don't know how old you are, Alexandria. By the time you're in your 60s, you get this many, babe. 0 stem cells.
Really?
Really? So that's why you see the aging process. That's why you see a decline in sleep quality. You see an increase in pain. You see a increase in the signs of aging, the feels of aging, the slower metabolism, you know, just the lack of energy and vibrance, right? That typically happens from our 60s on. So stem cells are the holy grail of healing, or the fountain of youth. Well, they're expensive. You know, we would pay anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 an injection for my daughter, with no guarantee, potential side effects. But we did it because we knew how important it could be to help her heal. She had had a brain bleed when she was 4 after some misdiagnosis of cancer and a year in the hospital. So anyways, we have a child that's now almost 19, and she's been in a wheelchair since she was 4 years old. She's perfectly normal up until that point. But I will tell you this, my quest over the last 14 years is to do anything that I can to help her have the best quality of life. So I've went all over this country and out, doing every therapy modality under the sun, every supplement, every product, everything I possibly could. And if anything, you know, she's not on medications. She hasn't regressed. We haven't seen massive progress with her, but we've seen, you know, her being able to maintain herself. She still requires full care, feeding, changing, bathing, everything. And so 6 months ago, when I found this patch, this stem cell activation patch, I bought it immediately. Didn't even know what it did or how it worked. I just knew the power of stem cells, and if this was something I could put on my child every single day that signaled her body to make more of its own stem cells, I knew we had our hands on a miracle right here. And I'll tell you this, Alexandria, in the last 6 months we've been using this patch with my daughter. We've seen more progress, massive progress in her all over, physically and mentally, emotionally, in the last 6 months than we have in the last 14 years. Her hormones have balanced. She has normal menstrual cycles. She no longer bruises. She's been bruising since she was 3 years old from a blood clotting disorder that is now gone. We have a child that is completely interactive. She will communicate with you. She'll communicate with me. She'll communicate with anybody, expressing her needs 100% every single time. She's never done that before. Now she eats foods that are solid, where before everything had to be completely pureed. Now she chews things up. She is just a completely different child. Feeling her, she's gained a lot of weight, which is good. She was little. She's grown like 3 inches. She's so tall. She's so big, and she's just happy. Every day she comes home from school, her teachers write a little note, you know, in her little progress note for her folder, and they're like, she's happy, laughing, telling us what she wants, expressing her needs. It's a totally different child, and they don't even know what the patches are. So I say all of that because I want you to understand the power, even of something long term. I'm talking, this was when my child was 4. Almost 15 years ago was her brain injury. She had a brain bleed and coded in the hospital. So what this patch does, it's non-transdermal, which means, you see the little white circle in the center? There is nothing going into the body. Non-transdermal. You're probably familiar with the transdermal patch, like a birth control patch or an estrogen patch. nicotine patch, pain patch. That's very common. That means there's something going into the body to cause it to do whatever it needs to do, right? Nicotine patch puts nicotine in there slowly so you don't, get over your addictions. And pain patch is supposed to help you get rid of the pain in the area. Well, this is very different. Non-transdermal means this is a form of light therapy or phototherapy, photobiomodulation, okay? And that's just a fancy way of saying that when you put this patch on, there's a signal that's going to be transmuted into your body, basically through light, just like the sun. You know, when you go outside and you get the sun on your skin, what happens? The
feels
light. Good. Yeah, it feels good. I know. I just sat out in the sun a minute ago. The light signals your body to make more vitamin D.
Right.
Okay, so this doesn't work with the sun. It doesn't, you don't have to have the sun or anything like that, but that's an analogy, right? So when I put this on my body, it has a proprietary blend of amino acids and salts, water, that form this basically like crystal lattice structure. It's light, crystal. You know what crystals are, right? Crystals, yeah, so it's light, right? And so because we are heat, we are light, we emit a low-level infrared light. When you put the patch on, our body's light reflects this signal back into the body. And it says, hey, Alexandria, make more stem cells. Come on, girl, let's go. You got them in there. Let's get them going. Get those racehorses running again. Let's get that body healed. Okay? Yeah, and so what the stem cells do is they immediately go to work. Your stem cells, your body goes to work to start to heal and repair and regenerate and rejuvenate itself. Now, what it's going to heal first, I don't know. Your body has its own innate ability to heal itself. Given the proper environment, stem cells being increased in your own body, it's going to cause that to happen more rapidly, right? So maybe you've got aches and pains. That's the first thing people notice. They notice their aches and pains start to go away. Dave, that's on the call here, he's had some issues with sleep. It's helped him have a better quality of sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep. He talks about dreaming now, where he used to never dream before. It helps people with memory, with energy and focus and concentration. Brenda, who's on here driving, I patched her a couple months ago. She has had massive dental issues. She's on the way to the dentist right now, right? And she was supposed to have a root canal. And then come to find out, we started patching her on her jaws. She didn't need a root canal later that week or next week. She didn't need to have any of that surgery or anything. And the sinus infection that she had completely went away. I had a lady last night message me, one of my brand new customers. She and her husband are in their 60s, and they raised their granddaughter, who's 2.5, that has a lot of different types of special needs. And she messaged me last night and she said, I have more energy. I didn't crash when I came home from work today. I feel amazing. I cannot believe the way that this hurt and that hurt, my foot, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't. But my granddaughter is happier. And she said she's a happy child. But she said she's running around like the Energizer Bunny, happy, 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 trying to talk to us. She's not been able to communicate. One patch. And she said she's trying to talk to us and tell us what she wants. And she's just like this bunny, just so happy running around everywhere, like she just looks and feels totally different. One patch. And I said, I know, Katrina, I get it, girl. We call that the One Patch Wonder Club. Some people experience results their very first day, just like Brenda. Now, for me, it took about a week or so. But we know with clinical studies, like I mentioned before, we have over 80 clinical studies, double-blind placebo studies on this patch. This patch has a 20-year patent itself, so you know it's not made up. You don't get a 20-year patent unless it's the real deal, right? So we have studies from Oxford, we have studies from Harvard and Stanford and Princeton and laboratories all over the world with doctors that have done studies with this patch. But we know that it improves your cardiovascular system, your brain. We know that it helps your skeletal system with bone growth. We know that it is working on all your cells and tissues and organs. And like I mentioned at the beginning, it literally, per clinical studies, every 6 months on this patch reverses your age, your cellular age inside by 8 years. Now, I'll tell you this, and then I'm going to see what questions you have. We had a doctor in the Netherlands last Thursday that I interviewed. Marcy and I were able to get him on the Zoom and do a little interview with him. He had a heart attack at 47 and has been on medications and tons of medications. He's a big pharma doctor. And he met a woman, and the woman helped him get off of all the medications and change his diet and things. But still, his heart was functioning as a 75-year-old heart. You can measure the age of the heart based on the vascular system, the arteries and the way blood's flowing and the speed and things like that. So anyways, the test, he had his test up on the screen. 1 year on this patch, and his heart is functioning like a 33-year-old. From 75 to 33. That's impressive. And so anyway, the patch does all kinds of amazing things. The big thing is you get up in the morning, you put it on the back of your neck, you leave it on 12 hours. Take it off, throw it away, or throw it in your pet bed if you have a pet. Make sure that you're drinking water, half your body weight in ounces throughout the day. It's really important to stay hydrated, right, for the conductivity of the cells with that light, that frequency coming in to help to signal those. There you go, drinking her water, I love it. Signaling those stem cells to get to work, let's go do this. So that's really the only rule, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Zero contraindications with any medications because, again, we're not putting anything into the body. So if you're on medications, not a problem. If you've had surgeries, no big deal. If you have a pacemaker, Laura, who's on here making baklava for me on Saturday, just had a full hip replacement back in June. So it doesn't matter if you've got artificial parts in your body. If you have a body, we're going to help you increase your stem cells. And that's the way it works.
Wow. How is the actual patch made? I mean, yeah.
So the actual patch itself is a Class 1 FDA approved medical device. If you see this little thing, it looks like a little round Band-Aid. That's basically what it is. All Band-Aids are Class 1 medical devices FDA approved. All Band-Aids are because they have to be to go on the skin, right? No latex, hyperallergenic, nothing in here toxic or harmful whatsoever. Inside of here, that little patch part, inside of here, little white part, David has, like I said, figured out the actual formulation, a proprietary blend of organic amino acids and salts and water. It took him 10 years to figure it out. But to figure out the frequency that signals the body to increase its own stem cell production. It's a pathway. So like another one of our patches, the Eon, it reduces inflammation. And so it signals a different pathway. It signals the liver to increase a peptide that reduces inflammation systemically. We have a patch called glutathione that, again, is not putting glutathione in the body, but it's signaling the liver, because that's where glutathione is made, to make more glutathione like when you were a child and keep that glutathione elevated over a 24-hour period. We know glutathione's gone in the body in 7 minutes. So David is a scientist. He's a researcher. He's an inventor. That's what he's done in his entire life. And so he's figured out how to harness these different combinations of amino acids and salts and sugars and crystals, water, to make these crystal lattices that signal the body with light to do different things. That's really what it's all about. So it sounds so simple, so easy, but yet so complex. It took him 10 years to figure this out. I can't even think about it, but I understand phototherapy. I understand the sun. We know for a fact 4 hours in the sun is going to increase your vitamin D level through the roof, not 20 minutes. I have a functional medicine doctor here that I take Taylor to once a year for her yearly, checkup. And he said, because I told him, I said, I get Taylor out in the sun every day. He said, is she naked for 4 hours every day in the sun? And I said, no, nobody's naked in the sun, okay? And he's like, unless you are naked in the sun.
We should be.
We should be. For 4 hours, full body, you cannot get the amount of vitamin D that your body needs from the sun in order to keep it healthy. Because vitamin D is like the master, right? As far as vitamins to keep you healthy. And he said, so make sure that you're giving her a vitamin D supplement, which of course I do. But he said, 4 hours is minimum in the sun for that. So with that being said, different patches do different things, but they're all a proprietary blend that David has figured out how to signal the body through different pathways.
You mentioned David. David as in down in this, that David?
No. David! Oh. That David. Dave, he's like, oh man, I'm gonna fill those shoes. So David Schmidt, this is David Sasick. David Schmidt is the inventor of the patches, the owner of the company. He actually started the company, Alexandria, 17 years ago for the Navy SEALs. You know the Navy SEALs, right?
Right.
The baddest men on the planet.
Now, where is he at?
He's in Orlando right now. It's where he lives, but he has lived out in San Diego. All of his labs and the facility distribution and manufacturing are all in San Diego. But David was asked 17 years ago, he was doing some work for the SEALs for some other things, and they asked him if he could invent something that would increase the sustainability of the SEALs, the longevity, the endurance, and the stamina of the SEALs in the field, because, you know, they're going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days without sleep. You know, they'll drop them into a country, they got to do a mission, and then they got to get back out. Well, they weren't all getting back out because you can only live so long on caffeine and amphetamines and uppers. And so David was given the idea, downloaded, you know, if you ask him, he says, it's not me, it's God, given the idea to create this patch that they could put on, and it would signal a pathway to turn their own fat into fuel. And that's the patch. It's called the Energy Enhancer. And so that's what he invented, this one right here, 17 years ago for the SEALs. Okay, that was the first patch he invented. Well, it worked so well that the Stanford University swim team got a hold of it. Worked so well for them that the USA Olympic team, now I don't know if you remember the Olympics about 15, 16 years ago, but there was a big controversy because all these swimmers were wearing these patches, and the USA Olympic team blew it out of the water that year. And they said, well, there must be something in there, and you can't have anything being put into the body, and so we're going to disqualify you. Well, of course, they went and did all their studies on the patch, and they determined that there was nothing going into the body from this patch because, again, it's light, it's a signal, it's frequency. And so they said, well, yeah, USA Olympic team won by a landslide, the swim team that year. And so it's been used all over the athletic forum from, it was at the Wimbledon, all the tennis players use it this past July, football players, baseball players, wrestlers, athletes all over the world are using the patch. And of course, you know, all the last 10 years, David has invented other patches. And so over the last 12 years, actually, he's invented other patches. And this X39, the stem cell activation patch, was just released 2 years ago. So brand new technology.
What was 2 years ago? What did you say? Say that again. What was released?
She got lost.
Yeah.
I can tell. Squirrel. It's totally fine. That's why we need the X39. Focus, Alexandria. Focus. Okay.
I'm ADD, dyslexic, Polish, old, and happy. So, no.
Happy's good, and Polish is good. The rest of it we're going to fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
My neighbor was picking up branches in the backyard for me. Yeah, I got the best neighbors in the world here.
She's figuring out how to talk to him next.
Perfect. Exactly, right? Because he's going to need some pain relief from picking up all those branches. So the X39 came out 2 years ago. So just 2 years it's been on the market.
Okay. Oh, thank you. And the X39 is the one you're using?
Yeah. One of the ones that I'm using.
Okay.
The other one is the Eon she was talking about for the inflammation.
Okay.
Tell her about your hip you had the hip replacement.
My hip replacement, but that's healing good. But my muscles, they say I have fibromyalgia, which I'm into functional medicine, teach Tai Chi, and really into the body knows how to heal itself kind of thing. And I've had blood clots dissipated by an Indian shaman and, you know, things like that. So I'm like, functional medicine is like, no, my body knows how to heal.
Yeah.
But fibromyalgia has been, and I'm just, you know, the muscles are sore, you know, and I just, and that's so psychosomatic. So I'm trying to find the mental equivalent of it. And we haven't figured that out. We have to be in a personal trainer, fitness director too. And then my left foot has a bone spur sticking up. Let's see, the teeth, eyes, fibromyalgia. This eye has a serpent. This eye has a spider. But we're in great shape for the shape we're in, right?
There you go. And you can always get better, right? We can always improve on that.
Well, yeah. It,
Yeah.
I just very open to, gosh, I've spent so much time and years of trying to figure out, this is as a personal trainer too for seniors, and that I'm just like, come on, why am I, in so much pain, chronic pain all the time? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, your body doesn't have any stem cells.
Poor thing. Oh.
I know. We're going to help it get more stem cells. And I would definitely use the Eon that reduces inflammation systemically. Okay, that's really important because we all have inflammation from diet, lifestyle, stress, injury, illness. Anybody past 25 has inflammation. There's nothing we can do about it, right? Unfortunately, our lives are not what they were, years ago. So using the
turmeric,
Eon.
Yeah. They say turmeric and curcumin and all these other things, I've been popping those and trying those and
Yeah. Here's the thing you have to remember with this. So, because I've been researched all of the supplements and all that stuff all these years as well too. This does not have to be processed through the colon.
Yay.
So it's not putting something into the body that the stomach and the intestines and all of that has to happen. This is a patch that goes on your body that signals directly the pathway to do what's needed. So that's why it is so effective and so quick and so powerful, because it bypasses all of that.
Wow.
I know, right?
I love it, yeah.
Brought from another dimension,
really?
right here.
Really?
Into your one eye, right out there.
Really?
Yep, really.
You're a doubting Thomas non-believer. Yeah, it takes a while. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What questions do you have?
I had another one earlier, but I wrote it down. I can't remember now where it's at. It'll come out. So anybody else might have another one.
Anybody else have any questions?
Oh, I do now. How long do people wear these? I mean, the rest of your life, for a short period of time, for
whenever you want to start aging again.
You stop.
Yeah, whenever you want to start aging again, you stop wearing them.
Oh,
so if you wear these 6 months, you are reversing your age by 8 years. So if you wear them 12 months, you are reversing your age by 16 years. Give it another 6 months and you're down 24 years.
Is this a lot of the regenerative medicine that's being done in, just a lot of places now?
I don't want to say what's going on in a lot of places, but yes, David himself has 130 patents in the area of regenerative medicine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went into you. Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah, this literally repairs, regenerates, rejuvenates, and heals the body, the cells, the tissues, the organs, in the order the body needs first. Maybe like I have this bone spur and this patch comes on and it goes, I'm going to need to work on your spleen for a second. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know what's going on the inside of my body. But I do know the way this works, and then I put it on, it's going to heal and repair whatever needs. And I'm all about reverse aging. David says with this patch, we have the ability to not only feel 25, but look 25. I feel 25. I'm working on looking 25, but I feel 25. My body feels like it. I have the energy of it. I don't crash. I don't need coffee. I don't need any kind of caffeine. I don't need any of that. And my brain goes like this nonstop. The processing is insane through the roof. I really try to slow it down so that I make sure everybody can understand what I'm saying, because if I talked the way that my brain talks, some of your heads may pop off. But I'm telling you, I've always had a lot of intake of information and be able to share information. But over the last 6 months, that has went through the roof. And my ability to take in, retain, and regurgitate, and the speed, the processing speed is insane.
But do you want to take the patch? I mean, because you keep going back 6 years, pretty soon you'll be 6 years old.
No,
I don't want to be 6 years old.
25. David says 25. 25. And if I have the energy of a 6-year-old, I'm fine with with that. But 25 years old is what the science, and he knows this from studying and researching queen bees versus worker bees, queen ants versus worker ants, lobsters. They're 130 years old and stronger than they were the day they were born. Glass sea urchins, 10,000 years old in the ocean, still. Like, what is making these things grow and stay older longer than the other population, but yet healthier, more vital, more energy? What is it? So he's harnessed those peptides, those structures over the last 10 years, figured it out and said, boom, here it is. We now have the ability to do this for ourselves, for humanity. Because he's not an egocentric person at all. He's very humble. Very, very humble. And he just wants to help humanity have a better quality of life because people are suffering. They're suffering from a lot with big pharma and the medical and all, the food that he calls it the Food and Death Administration, all of that, right? Because of what's been put into our food and our water and our environment, and it's just caused chaos, and it's decreased people's quality of life. It's also decreased their ability to stay connected to source, that they've lost that connection, or that connection is diminished because of the calcification of the pineal gland and all of this. He has a patch called Alavita that signals the pineal gland to produce a peptide that lengthens your telomeres. It gets the calcification off the pineal gland. Yes, it's called Alavita.
I mean, that's what you want to keep going.
Yeah.
Really?
Alexandria, you hit the gold mine, girl.
Oh, real? It's just fascinating. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I have a son at University of Northern Carolina. Yeah, in med school, 4th year.
Wow.
But he's in drugs and surgery and becoming an anesthesiologist. I have been functional medicine, and he thinks I'm woo-woo.
Yep.
It's so sad.
I get it. I'm a doctor of integrative medicine. I get it. People are like,
Right.
what? Holistic stuff? You don't do medicines? No, integrative. Holistic.
Yeah, where did you go to school and get all this? Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Sarasota, Florida. I received my doctorate from Quantum University from Honolulu, Hawaii. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Paul Druin. He's originally from Canada. He started the university years and years and years ago. You know Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Yes.
Dr. Lipton?
He's
I've been to a lot of their conferences. Greg Braden, they're all on staff. Yeah, at the university.
I'm a
Yeah.
Great.
I've been all them too, girl. I've been to all their conferences. Absolutely.
And oh my gosh. Deepak Chopra. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Oh,
Hay House.
My new best friend.
All of them. Hay House, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I've spent the last 17 years in their world, my world, that world, right? With all of these huge thought thinkers, just forward thinking people that are just all about collective consciousness and oneness and coherence. This is coherence. This brings the heart and brain into coherence. And so with that, I mean, I'm saying some things that some of the people on here are like, what? But that door just got open with you. So that's if you really want to have a conversation with me, we're going to go down that rabbit hole, right? Because that's where I've lived. Like, I do Dr. Joe's advanced follow-up workshops, his meditations, walking meditations, beach, you name it, like other worlds, galaxies, dimensions, traveled it all, bilocate, trilocate, you can do all that, girl. I have spent years with shamans, traveling years, so I get all of that. Yes. That's
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Dave is going to be. I was just telling her that Dave is going to be at your house on February 16th.
Yeah, you guys need to come over January 15th. Yeah, I've got David, the inventor, is coming in town to do a 4-hour presentation for us on Saturday, January 15th.
What? How far is that from here?
It's like Sarasota from here.
It's about two and a half hours.
I'll drive. Oh wow.
We'll go together.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
This really fascinating and exciting.
It is.
It's hard to believe. I mean, I'm just like,
No, I
when
get
you
it.
all those names and people and what you've done, I'm like, man, they know what's going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
But you just have to remember, you are a person who's open. You are a person that's into all different types of things. So, of course, it would make sense that something incredible would be brought to you, that would be shared with you to help you expand your mind, expand your consciousness, and not only help yourself, but help more people. Because that's what you embody. So you have to take this as not like, I'm skeptical and not really for sure. I mean, obviously do your due diligence. But I'm saying you are open enough to even have this come into your awareness.
Wow. Oh, and to meet Dee.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? What are you doing? Yeah, your energy was so good that, and I sat at your table and went, whoa, this person has good energy. When you can tell, when you go into a room.
Yes, you can.
And people
I'm
you
huge
like,
on energy. Absolutely.
Yeah, just by looking and talking and feeling their energy field. And I ended up sitting at your table. I went, ooh, yeah. Yeah.
She's the magnet. She's the magnet saying, who else can I help? Who else can I help? She's the magnet, right? Her magnet, her heart, the coherence is sending out a signal, and you picked up on that signal and sat down next to her.
Wow. But that's the universe. That's God, Buddha, Allah, Kuan Yin, the Great White North.
All that. Ooh, Kuan Yin's my girl. I'm all about some Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin. Yeah. No, she's my girl. I work with her daily.
I was gonna call my dog her name Yodi Yen, Yodi from Yoda, because her ears are like Yoda's,